honestly, the sixth one and the fourth one are the only good ones.
They really are.
3 is good.
3's alright.
I like some good characters.
I like the remake.
I like the New Blood more than the original.
Me too.
Like telekinesis.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of the better ones. It's not great, but
yeah,
it's one of the better ones.
Welcome to Pulp Diction, the podcast where I talk about movies with my friends for an academic obligation.
But yeah, I don't know a whole lot of people that have seen like more than one or two movies in this series. I'm in the camera. Okay, we're chilling. And that's recording. So we're good. Okay. Welcome back to Pulp Diction. I'm your host, Dylan Gibson. Who am I here with?
Stone Chenault, Mr. AHS rookie.
Yes, sir. Mr. What were you, a Mr.?
I was Mr. Graphic Design.
Mr. Graphic Design.
Yeah.
And it's always a pleasure, Stone. And would you like to introduce what we kind of just talked a little bit about it, but what are we talking about today?
Friday the 13th. This episode's originally like on part 6, which is Jason Lives, but we'll probably dive deeper into the whole franchise.
Probably. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that. So part 6 it's my favorite in the series. I've seen all of them. It's my favorite in the series. I think it's probably the only genuinely good movie in the series, or at least one of the only actually good movies. And you've told me it's also your favorite, and it's a very common favorite. So why do you think that is?
I think just the premise of the movie. It's Tommy's character development is very good in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best Tommy actor you've had yet. I mean, Corey Feldman was really good, but he's a close second.
For sure.
And just Jason in general in the movie, they make him he's not human anymore. This is the first movie he's a zombie, and he's kind of I don't know how to say it, stiff in the movie. The kills are really nice. Mm-hmm. They're some of the best in the series, and honestly, it's the only movie that's not. It doesn't give a teenage premise kind of setting.
All the pretty much every other movie in the series has this kind of low budget, grimy sort of just trashy kind of feel about it. And this one, they actually tried. It's it actually has decent cinematography. They put effort into the story and script and just everything, and it just in an effort to not make it just another Friday the 13th. They wanted this one to be special. And they wanted it to be sort of a love letter to Friday the 13th and slashers in general, I guess. Which I love the opening of this movie. I think they set the tone very quickly. They have this whole gothic atmosphere going on with the storm and the graveyard and the fog, and it's great.
They dig him up.
He's grimy, worms
covered
and
in maggots.
Maggots all over him.
And then Tommy gets away, but I forgot the guy's name.
Whoever his friend is gets a hole punched through his chest. It's awesome. I think that's one of my favorite kills in this movie. And just right off the bat, you have a great kill. He gets the hockey mask back.
He does get the hockey mask.
They know what people come to these movies for, and they immediately give it to you, right?
Yeah.
Because my issue with a lot of the Friday the 13th series is, they take so long to get to the point. The first movie especially is just boring. It's so boring.
It's an hour and 20 minutes to reveal it was Pamela the whole time. And then you don't even get her name until the third one, I'm pretty sure it was. Because the first one, she was only known as Mrs. Voorhees. The second one, Jason just is a baghead.
Yeah.
And then the third one, it's the
he finally gets the mask.
He finally gets the mask from Shelley, I'm pretty sure his name is. Mm-hmm. And that's at the beginning of the movie, they were driving past, and they were driving obviously to the camp because they can't start off the movies any better than that. And it's revealed on the gravestone. It might have been part 4 actually, where they revealed it was finally her name was Pamela, and it's like, who is this lady?
Yeah.
She's just going psycho. And first off, like, the kills in the first movie are just absolutely terrible. You don't know how people, like, the only one that's actually good,
Kevin Bacon.
two. Kevin Bacon and the girl that gets an axe to the head.
Right, yeah.
And Pamela. So.
Yeah, the thing is, the kills in the first movie, when you do actually get to see them, they're not bad. The makeup is excellent, obviously.
Savini is good.
To love Tom Savini's work. But they just waste so much time in the first one. But then you have part 6, it feels like they're trying to avoid that exact thing happening. Because I feel like you have kills very often in this movie. You get these moments of Jason just cutting through random folks. And it's great, you know? It's lovely.
It's always good watching him, like, cut through a random old couple.
Yeah, yeah. Or you have the paintball scene.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good scene. He kills all 3 of them.
Yeah, you have he decapitates 3 people.
There's the tree scene.
The tree.
That's the best
Oh
one.
my gosh! I mean, so this whole scene, it's so funny because this whole movie is so self-aware. Mm-hmm. You have them wearing the bandanas on their heads that say "dead" on them. Dead. Just their way of, nodding and winking to the audience. You know we're dead. You know we're just here to die. Yeah. We were dead the second we came on camera, and we're dead.
And it's like, I think the MPAA, like, cuts everything from the Friday movies.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned.
They had a real hate boner for this one.
They hated it. And that scene originally was supposed to be really bad.
Yeah. And with the decapitation.
It's supposed to show, like, their heads on the ground, but honestly,
yeah.
I like that kill, like, kind of like where it cuts more. And then Jason gets the machete, obviously. Because the guy's like...
He grabs the guy, throws him against the tree, but his arm... And he gets the machete, but his arm's still attached to it.
Yeah, so
it's one of many awesome, hilarious visual gags in this movie. This is the funniest Friday the 13th, I think. And you have... What's his face? Roy, with the glasses.
Running. Jason's just walking.
And you don't get to see him die. But Jason... I love the Jason in this movie.
Jason needs to kill
him. But I forgot to mention about the intro. One of my favorite parts of that was, the end... Towards the end of the intro, you have this, like, real close-up on his eye and in his pupil. It zooms in, and you get, like, the James Bond intro, right?
You get the terrible credits.
Yes, the terrible credits. But before that, you get the best title card, I think, in the franchise. Because you have, it's, like I said, it's James Bond. He does the walk, then he turns, slashes the camera. And it's great. And I think that should have become a staple in the series after that. But it didn't. And I think the movies that came after this one should have taken a lot more from this than they did. Like the self-awareness of this movie, which eventually went on to inspire Kevin Williamson, who wrote the screenplay for Scream. He said he took inspiration from how self-aware this was and how self-aware that is. But just the tone and how it's very tongue-in-cheek, it's very playful. This is the only Friday the 13th, I believe, without nudity in it.
I think it is.
Yeah. And
there is one scene. Oh,
there is a sex scene.
That's the best scene, though. The RV scene is the best scene because he literally flips the RV on its side.
Oh, it's so good.
It's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
And then he shoves her face into the thing. They make, like...
it makes an indent. Thank you. Into the wall in her face shape.
I mean, at least it's like, I don't know if, you can't put it as PG-13 either way because it's Friday, but, like, that's one thing that also stands out because that's what I meant, like, it doesn't give that teenage Friday vibe that it always does and Halloween does, where it's, like, so annoying and repetitive.
Yeah.
But, like, the kills in this movie are really good. Like, her kill was good. Mm-hmm. The guy's kill, he was just driving the RV.
He got a knife in the head. Yeah, it's fine. It could have been worse.
Flipping the RV was awesome.
It's great.
And they said, because the background was the guy that was pretty sure that was, like, overseeing it and, like, wanted it to be done.
Oh, the producer?
The producer.
Yeah.
And he was, like, trying to rush it. And apparently they put the AC unit on top of the car. Mm-hmm. And then they, when the RV flipped over, like, his AC unit went off with it. And that was one. That's a one take shot you get, and that's like.
Oh yeah, because you can't do that.
And the best
you
shot
can't film
later
that multiple times.
is where Jason's on top of the RV.
Oh, it's so good, and that's like you said, that's the last thing they filmed because I mean that's very dangerous. You only get to do it once, and you have to have the guy standing on top of it, which can go wrong in so many ways. But of course, if he did die, they could have gotten a new Jason.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing they didn't have to.
They also said that the Jason in this movie was like one of the, I don't know how to say it, more serious Jasons. Not like a Not like a I forget the name of the part 4 every time he passed.
Oh yeah, Ted White. I want to say
Ted White was good during part 4, but that's also because the people in the part 4 like Crispin Glover and them, they were good at like running off and stuff.
Yeah,
and he could just run. But that was when we got the teleport shit.
Yeah, right. No, it's an interesting point. Like this is one of the more serious Jasons, because I mean it's very interesting. You have all these different actors, and I think Jason is at his best when he's just like this kind of sort of just this hulking mass of pissed off raginess, but the Jason in this one isn't as much just a pissed off dude as he is like this serious, militaristic, sort of man on a mission type deal. Which the dude who played him, CJ Graham, was an ex-Marine, so that kind of fits.
He ain't no Kane Hodder though.
He's no Kane Hodder, the goat Jason.
But like, yeah, that's where it comes in the movie. Like he's stiff kind of the whole time. I'm trying to think of one scene. Like there's scenes where it's like the first couple killed the movie when they were driving the car and he had the spear. Like it was so blank and crazy. Then there was the one scene where he kills the biker, and he's like going for the kill, and then the lady comes out of the wood, or the guy comes out of the wood.
He like turns with his whole body. I was gonna say
and,
I love that shot.
He looks like a robot or something.
Yeah.
But that was, I like how they hired good actors for that.
They did,
I don't even know who played Jason in part 2. I don't even know.
I couldn't tell you.
But they looked goofy either way.
Yeah.
Anybody looks goofy in that mask.
Yeah, the thing is, part 6 is one of the only movies in this series I've watched multiple times, because it's one of the only ones I can like bear to watch multiple times, because like you said, the acting is actually not terrible a lot of the time. You have your moments, like when the deputy turns around, Megan has the gun on his head. Megan. It's like, it's awesome. I love it though. It's like Tommy Wiseau core. It's great.
Then that brings up another point. The Megan's dad. That is one of the like most brutal ways to go.
It's one of the best kills in this movie, and I'm so sad that it could have been better too if the MPA hadn't neutered it.
Yeah, they didn't censor out like the lake scene was different when Jason's guts and everything.
Yeah. Which this is the first time watching that I've kind of taken a second and appreciated it. Like that must have been a nightmare to film. Because, like, you have the Jason actor underwater for who knows how long they had to film for. And, like, you got to give him some way to breathe between takes. I think they gave him a tube.
Probably.
And you have the actor for, you have Tom Matthews, I believe. Tommy Jarvis. You have him also underwater, and he's getting choked out. But I think all the underwater takes were filmed in a pool. So it couldn't have been too hard to just, like, swim up. Yeah. All the above water shots were obviously on a lake. But I read somewhere, like, so for the shots where like you mentioned with the propeller, it cuts into Jason and his blood and guts go spilling everywhere. It was filmed in the director's parents' pool. And he had to buy them a new filter because all the fake guts totally messed it up.
That's disgusting. Dude.
But, it's the lengths people go for art.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, did you say you had a favorite kill in this movie?
I do, like, okay, Megan's dad is a good kill,
Mhm.
but it's gotta. It's. I mean, Jason's not a kill. They show him at the end of the movie, like
Right.
in the water. But trying to think of the other one. That one girl in the cabin when they were playing were they playing strip poker? Probably. It's Friday, so they probably playing
Maybe. I
something
feel like they
strip-related.
weren't. I feel like strip poker was just in like one of the first few.
They were playing cards in the cabin.
They were
I know
playing
that.
cards.
And then she gets pulled out the window, and I think that scene got cut
Mm-hmm.
because they originally
Yeah.
pulled her head backwards. But the one lady who gets killed in the where he just off screen, and then they come back and it's blood all over the room.
Yeah. yeah.
That, I feel like would have been a good kill because
I'm sure.
it looks really.
I mean,
cool.
that's gnarly.
It is gnarly.
Yeah.
Blood all over the popcorn and everything in that
Mhm.
scene. But probably Megan's dad is probably the easiest pick there.
I'd say so.
But it's still not the best kill in the series. The best kill in the series is still when he gets his head punched. Then the dude gets his head punched off.
Oh yeah, in part 8, the best part of an awful movie.
That or Crispin Glover's kill.
Right, with the corkscrew.
Yeah, with the corkscrew.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Maybe the Doublemint twins were low key
Which ones were? Oh, were they in part?
Those were the
3?
two girls in part 4 that they randomly stumbled upon, and they just got booked out a window because Jason teleported onto if Jason was right here, you just grab your head and just pull out. And
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense that there's just there's no balcony right there. There's nothing for him to stand out on. I don't know when he got the teleportation.
Who cares?
Who cares? I mean, it still worked. Joseph Cito didn't really direct that movie, or he directed it not so good, but I guess the product just overall everybody likes it because
It's fun. It's low-key
relatable kind of.
relatable.
Not relatable, but
what do you mean?
It's low-key seems this definitely kind of would hapen.
I guess so.
Well, without Jason, but
yeah.
it follows all these teenagers are just going to the lake because they they're
yeah,
horny.
right.
And then the families across the lake. Tommy, it's that kind of I don't know if it scarred him. It showed in part 5. It kind of scarred him.
He's traumatized so hard. I mean, part 5 is all about him being mentally screwed up.
That movie is one of the worst reveals. Speaking of that movie has one of the worst reveals ever. Where they
Part
revealed
5?
that it was Roy and his son was the chocolate kid.
Yeah.
The chocolate really got him killed because the dude was angry and
Right.
a lumberjack.
Yeah. It's not a good movie. Part 5 is one of my favorites of the series. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I feel like it's different enough in a not terrible way. Because I don't know. If it were just more of the same, it would be terrible. But they try to be different. It's like a 90-minute long R-rated Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah.
It's fun. I enjoy it. And I haven't seen it since the first time I saw it, which was a few years ago, so maybe my opinion would change on a rewatch. Yeah. But as it stands, I'm a fan. You also got to mention the liquid nitrogen in Jason X.
That one's good. That's really good effects.
Yeah, Jason X is another fun one. I think that's the closest they got to the self-awareness of Jason Lives, because you have the hologram scene or whatever it is with the teenagers we're gonna have unprotected sex or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, part 2 also, where dude just gets to the face. What was his name? Mark.
Maybe
the girl was trying to get with him, and then bro was just chilling outside, and he just gets a machete to the dome.
Oh, and the wheelchair.
Yeah, in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
The cripple.
Oh, that's such a good. And then they have the shot of him rolling down the stairs.
And then it does the stupid flash thing because
they have to ruin it.
I'd say the best kill from part 1 is I'll go what it is. Best kill from part 1 is probably it'll have to be Pamela. He just did so good there.
Yeah,
part 2 is him. Part 3. I like the one where the girl gets shot in the water with the.
Oh yeah,
just with the spear gun.
Yeah,
the harpoon gun. And then part 4, I like
Crispin
Glover. And then a close second, I'd say, is honestly the face smush because he face smushes him in the shower.
Right.
Or does he? Is that the one with the handstand He chops the dude in half with the hand.
Yes!
That one's
yes!
awesome.
Oh my goodness.
That one is
It's
awesome.
so great.
Part 5.
Part 5.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Just gets an axe to the back. Part 6 is
6.
yeah.
Probably the sheriff.
Sheriff. Because the crunching.
7.
7? Do you give it to Jason? Or no. That scene sucks. Where the dad comes out the water.
Yeah. That was
What's in part 7?
7. I don't know. 7.
I'm trying to think of 7.
I'm trying to remember. I remember he uses like a weed whacker or something at some point.
He does. It's his mom and the dude. His mom and like her therapist.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
Remember
yeah.
his mom like runs away, or her mom like runs away.
That's right.
While like bro just like he's using it as a shield. He was trying to use her as a shield, and then she just like ran away.
Yeah.
And then part 8 is easily
the head punch.
And then part
That's
9, I honestly say it's probably Jason in the beginning of the movie.
Right, because he just gets shot to oblivion.
Yeah.
There was the one guy that like melts. That was really cool.
He does.
It's like Cronenbergian.
Yeah, he melts in that, and then is the next one Jason X.
Yes.
That's liquid nitrogen. And then Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy
versus Jason is the one where the dude is on the bed and the bed folds in half.
Oh yeah.
Just instantly.
Which one was the sleeping bag? Where he takes
that
the
was
sleeping
part
bag?
7.
That was part 7.
That sleeping bag. What the heck am I thinking? That's iconic.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember I used to play the game.
Oh, I loved that.
I had the
loved
game.
it.
They need to bring it back.
They do.
Need to find a way back. It's the rights that are just like...
It's so messed
cooked.
up. Honestly, I think they should do a sequel that just has like... It's improved and it has everything that they weren't able to add to the original game.
Well, it's the right. Like...
It's the
They're
rights.
just bitching over them. And
I
then,
know.
What was it? They had the sleeping bag kill in that game.
They did.
And
they had a lot
in that
of
game were nice because it was like you can't hide in it, or you can't hide in it for like so long because then you gotta like breathe or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just sense you, and then yeah, honestly, like when they announced the Freddy versus Jason like stuff, I'm sure that was crazy to people.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way people expected that movie to be like
good.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to make it for years. That's what part 7 was supposed to be. But they couldn't work out a deal with the rights because it's 2 different companies that own the 2 different characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, however many years later, they were finally able to do it. And that movie's probably about as good as it could have been. Even if it's not great. It's fun. It's like a wrestling match, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they, in the promo or something, they did have like a wrestling weigh-in type thing going on. I'm not sure though.
Maybe.
I do wish they were able to come to an agreement with making Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. I don't know if you've seen the Evil Dead movies at all, but yeah, I guess they'd wanted to do a sequel that also had Ash Williams in it, who is my favorite horror protagonist of all time. But I guess the call was like, I don't know, Bruce Campbell was saying his character had to win. Because, I mean, he would.
Jason would beat Freddy.
Jason could, yeah, probably.
In my opinion, Jason could also beat Michael.
I think that's, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's ridiculous, because Jason is like I said, I love the big 3 slashers for 3 different reasons. Like, Michael, he's this cold, unfeeling, like, embodiment of evil type deal. And he's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Freddy has a lot of fun with what he does. He's very creative. He's probably the most creative with his kills.
He's just I don't know how to say it. He breaks the fourth wall.
He breaks the fourth wall. He's very silly and creepy and just evil in a different way than Michael is. Because he enjoys being evil. He knows he is, but he likes it. And then Jason, like I mentioned earlier, he's just pissed off. And I love to see that.
Crash out.
He's a D1 crash out. And he's just strong. He's this hulking, strong, pissed off guy. And he's so fun to watch. Like, you look at the remake, just every scene, he's throwing crap around, sprinting. He's
Yeah.
bonkers.
I'll
Man.
tell you who kills them all though, and it's an easy take. Pinhead just kills them all.
Oh well, yeah.
Pinhead just people can't accept that Pinhead's like the most powerful like horror protagonist ever, or antagonist.
Antagonist, yeah.
Antagonist. I mean, yeah, he would fold him. But
Well, yeah. I still need to see Hellraiser actually.
you've never seen Hellraiser? I don't know how to say it. It is the first one is pretty like the makeup effects makes it like what it is. I don't know if you know the plot of it.
I know bits and pieces.
You gotta watch it.
I know.
It's like a cheating wife.
Yeah.
That's karma. But like, speaking of breaking the fourth wall, they do that in Jason Lives like 2 or 3 times. And
The Gravedigger guy.
Gravedigger guy.
It's so funny.
And then like, I'm trying to think of the other one. Wait, no, am I thinking of another movie? I might be thinking of another movie. It's just a whole horror movies on. But they do break the fourth wall in the movie, and they do make it. They do like, the Gravedigger is a very interesting add-on to it.
Yeah.
Because Tommy like races around the graveyard, but he doesn't go in the graveyard. And like the police chase him, and then they do the police wherever the red dot goes, bang.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah. And then the jail scene, they just didn't believe Tommy the entire movie, and it is they look he got repetitive.
Yeah.
But when it finally gets to the lake scene, like when it finally gets to
The final showdown.
After the police chases, where it finally starts ramping up, Jason's going into the camp, Camp Forest Green. I think that's what it's called.
That's what they renamed Crystal Lake.
Where he's going Camp Forest Green or Crystal Lake. He goes up to the kid and he like I don't know if he like sniffs her, but he like leans down. The girl's sleeping or not sleeping, but trying to like
she's
shut
like
her
trying
eyes.
to pray him away, right?
Yeah, she's like I think she was saying the Lord's Prayer,
Mm-hmm.
and then but he wouldn't kill a girl, and then
Yeah.
he did the little snap thing.
Because that's sort of Jason's deal is like he doesn't kill little
He doesn't
kids.
He doesn't kill kids. I don't know if Michael
Michael killed a kid in Halloween 2018.
he killed a douchebag of a kid. I can tell you that. I mean, Freddy just straight up kills teenagers.
Yeah, well,
Can't
I
kill
mean,
kids. He can't get
Freddy's
teenagers.
whole thing is he is a child murderer.
He can't get in child's dreams though. He only get in teenagers.
Mm.
So I mean, overall, like, it's definitely like the movie. I mean, it's a horror movie, so it's like an hour and 30, hour and 40.
I think
Never
it's
long.
it's like an hour and 20 something.
That's what it is. Because I
watched it again last night.
I watched it I watched the entire movie literally in like one blog in
Yeah.
school, and like it definitely is worth it, and it's gonna be the best Friday movie you see.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of my favorites for a while because I first saw the movie like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's up there on like one of my favorite slashers.
Oh, for sure.
It's not one of my favorite horror films, or
Mhm.
just straight up in general, like thriller kinda.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't give off the teenage killer vibe anymore. It kind of just goes into that self-aware
Mm-hmm.
movie, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it does it really well.
This is
even though it's rushed.
part 6 is everything Friday the 13th as a franchise should have become, and it just decided not to. I think the best sequel that this movie never officially got were the Never Hike Alone fan films. I don't know if you saw any of those.
I remember those.
They released the second one, I want to say a year or two ago. I actually contributed to the Indiegogo campaign. My name's in the credits. Dylan Gibson. I contributed like 2-3 years ago, and the Blu-ray just finally came in a few weeks ago.
So you got a free Blu-ray?
But I got I paid for it,
but it still helped.
but it helped them to make the movie.
Well, that's like that one's. Is it straight after Part 6?
It's not well. It's like it's almost a legacy sequel sort of deal. Like
Gotcha.
it's it's however many years after, like 30 give or take, and you have like Tommy comes back, the deputy Rick Cologne comes back, and they fight Jason again, and it's a whole thing. I think it's a nice wrap up of Tommy's character, even though they already kind of wrapped him up. And yeah, I think they're very well made fan films. There's a lot of love for the franchise in them. The first Never Hike Alone is sort of like a found footage type thing with a YouTuber who's like hiking in Camp Crystal Lake, and Tommy only has a cameo at the end until he's like the protagonist in the second one.
Okay.
But they're real good. They're real good. I think they're probably better than most of the actual movies.
It's a significant drop off from part 6. Or not. 6 is obviously the best. 4th, I say, is second best.
Mm-hmm.
3rd best is honestly, in my opinion, 3. And
Yeah.
it's like literally interchangeable. 4th, I'll probably. Part 2 is better than I think.
I think so. I think I'd like to watch that one again.
Mm-hmm. It's better than I think because they have no idea who Bro is.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know it's Jason.
And they very much like start going more in the campfire story sort of angle, because that's kind of what I feel Friday the 13th is at its core, is just a spooky campfire story that people will tell their kids. Like I knew who Jason was as a kid.
Yeah.
And I was scared of him before I even knew what the Friday the 13th movies were.
Yeah.
And I think it's stuff like this series, like the Jason Lives, that have kind of put him at that status in pop culture. And it's a real shame that they haven't really been able to do anything with the character for well over a decade now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a decade, but they still. Gun Media made the game.
Mm-hmm.
Gun Media didn't get the rights, or something like that. They had the rights from one side, they didn't from the other, so then they stopped the game. Then it just went down like a couple months back.
They did, yeah.
I had the game still installed,
Me too.
but I think people found a way on like PlayStation to keep playing it.
Oh, yeah?
And then they found like the servers aren't down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can still play on it, but they
Okay.
just like they don't know how to say it.
Yeah. I mean, you can't buy the game anymore.
Can't buy the game anymore. You couldn't do that for like that was like a year and a half ago
Yeah.
now. But people found a way to play it again. I'd play it,
That's good.
but like they just need to find a way to do it because Dead by Daylight's never been it.
It's
for
not.
me.
I was so addicted to Dead by Daylight for so long. It never scratched the same itch as Friday, because they like to try to be like a competitive type sorted game, whereas Friday was very much a casual, like just fun experience.
Yeah,
Because you have the proximity chat.
it was a game to play at night.
It was a game to play at night or with your friends or with strangers.
You meet
The experiences with random people I met on Friday the 13th are some of my favorites in any game ever. I very much treasure those. And like, I only played it towards the end of its lifespan, to be honest. So when I did, the player base was very small. And when you have a player base that small, you end up meeting a lot of the same people over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it was sort of a very tight-knit, close community. And I appreciated that, you know? It was really nice.
I got the game like 2020. Wasn't dead,
Yeah.
but it was still kind of.
It was getting there.
It was they didn't like give up and give everybody level 150 or something like that.
Right.
I mean, I had met people through that game. Because 2020 was my rotation was Friday the 13th, Minecraft, and Battlefront 2. So that's literally all I did. I met new people and then I played Minecraft, and that's only because it was a 2-week phase. But
Right. Of course.
like games like that and Battlefront 2 where they can't find a way to get the rights disputed, or well, Battlefront 2 they just dropped it for Battlefield. And
Well, I think Battlefront 2 had a whole series of issues because at launch it sucked because it was littered with microtransactions.
it was.
And they never fully recovered from like how hard that hit its reputation.
Yeah.
If they had been able to recover, like we could have Mando in that game and stuff. But maybe one day with if they ever do BF3.
They will. I trust it.
You think
It'll probably
so?
be like 30.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, Jason has been like. Overall, Jason has been somebody like, or a character I've known. Obviously, I've heard Freddy Krueger, Jason, Pennywise, Michael Myers since I was like 6.
Yeah.
They would be walking around your neighborhood on Halloween.
Yeah,
And
they're gonna get you.
they
You're
were
gonna
gonna
die.
get me. People would be dressed up as them at the haunted house. But what makes Jason so like crazy in this movie is he uses like so many different things. Like he uses a piece of the fence.
That's right.
Piece
That's
of the
right.
fence for the first 2 kills.
Mm-hmm.
Then he just straight up like uses his bare fist for another kill.
Mm-hmm.
Then he uses the machete for another kill.
Of course, you
Then
gotta
he
have a machete.
Kind of kill. He doesn't. Or then he uses his hands again to kill not Brackett. Why do I keep calling him Sheriff Brackett? But Megan's dad.
Megan's dad. And does he do a head crush in the movie? I feel like he does a head crush. Like he crushes.
I think he crushes.
Is it one of the cops?
Yes, it's one of the cops. But I'm pretty sure he crushes like. I'm pretty sure he crushes the girl's head.
Yeah, he tries to crush Megan's, but then Tommy's like, "Hey, come on, chicken shit, come on, pussy."
Yeah, he's on the lake,
which is so funny. It's such a funny scene.
That's the best scene. That's one of the best scenes in the movie, because like it's Crash Out versus Crash Out.
Yeah,
but, like the boat. That the amount of times that they've changed the lake in the series is ridiculous because that just not look like
it's so funny.
And he's down at the bottom of the lake and like he's choking him out, and that's what like makes it kind of like cool. It's like Tommy obviously could die right here.
Yeah,
but that's all he wanted. He just wanted to kill Jason.
Yeah, it's a really great showdown. It's really well made. It's just one of the better. It's so funny because this movie does like the bare minimum in terms of like good filmmaking, but that automatically puts it above the entire rest of the series.
It's not the
bare minimum.
Yeah, but it was definitely rushed.
Yeah,
every Friday movie's rushed. They would make they made one in 1979 or 80.
It was like every year in the 80s.
83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and then 91. And then 2001.
Yeah. Which I do feel like when you have, like, even if you do have to rush it, when you have a movie like this that's just silly and fun and not taking itself too seriously, that's going to be one of the most fun types of movie to make. And I'd love to one day, like, just get together with friends and try to make just a slasher or something. It wouldn't be easy.
It wouldn't be easy, but it would be a great project.
It would be fun.
The makeup is what contributes.
The makeup is what makes it.
What makes it what it is, and it's like I'm trying to think of the makeup in this movie that's like really good. I don't think Savini was in this movie.
He wasn't.
Savini was in Final Chapter.
That's right.
But that was the last.
You have the chest punch in the beginning.
That one's really good because he pulls the heart out.
And then you see him spitting out the blood.
Just Jason, right. And then Jason, like they really did good with the makeup on him because he looks like he's actually like deformed.
Like a desecrated.
Probably takes place quote unquote 2 weeks after because they just don't have a timeline in the series.
It's such a mess.
Jarvis, no, it's a good bit. That actually looks good. Like he's decomposing.
Yeah.
And then you can see like when he pulls the heart out, you can see like nasty fingers, everything. Yeah. And then like the dude like is coughing up blood, and then he like falls into the grave.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like so he takes Jason's place, and then it's another good scene with makeup.
So apparently, you were talking about the triple decapitation earlier.
That one's.
I guess what they were going to do was they'd designed a rig for the 3 prop bodies for their knees to all buckle at the same time or after a few seconds. Yeah. But they weren't able to use that shot because the MPAA were just no.
Imagine how good the movies would be, or how good the kills would be if the MPAA didn't get.
I know, it's so brutal.
It would be crazy.
But as it stands, I feel like this movie. I honestly feel like if this came out in today's time, sex scene aside, maybe cut out a little bit of the language, it would have gotten a PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, it feels like I would let my kids watch this one a lot earlier than any other Friday.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones for the kids. Like the first one doesn't. I'm trying to think which ones have like the least. Like which ones would be the most appropriate for the kid? Six, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe seven. Is seven? I don't know
Maybe.
what scene has nudity in seven.
I don't know either.
I don't
I
know.
only watched that one the one time.
Manhattan too.
Yeah.
Or no, Manhattan at the start of the movie. What am I?
Yeah.
They have nothing better to do. It's actually crazy how they went one movie without it.
Yeah.
Because it honestly just puts pressure on the child actors.
Mhm.
Not child. It usually is children,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Which
And
this is also one of the only movies in the series that doesn't have like actual teenagers playing teenagers.
Yeah,
They're all like 20s, 30s.
yeah, and like it's crazy. Like there's no real pressure on the child actors for this movie.
Yeah.
But like,
Which there are actual child actors
the little
though. There are
kids.
the little, which does make the stakes feel a little bit higher than usual. Even though,
makes you think he's gonna like.
yeah, you think like, what if he actually does kill the kids?
Yeah.
But apparently, like the director was very like kind and careful with the kid actors.
Oh.
You have the two like that are sort of bickering a little bit throughout. Like, I think we're dead meat.
The two boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that I love that soundbite just because it's on the dead meat intro.
Obviously, we know that.
Yeah.
But like,
Shout out to James A. Janice.
that's good right there. That is good. Like, speaking of James A. Janice, you know Chase Bazelia?
Who?
He's a singer.
Okay.
He met James A. Janice.
Really?
At like comic or not like maybe a Comic Con, a horror con.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so like apparently he's way nicer than it seems. Like,
Really?
you kind of think James A. Janice would be like kind of like. I don't think he would give off that same energy that he gives off in the videos.
Because he seems like a nice guy in the videos.
But I don't think he would give off the same energy. Like, I think he would be like, he'd probably hate it. I thought he would like hate his life because of how much he has to do.
Really?
Because people are so on him about
I mean,
it.
yeah.
But
yeah.
like, it's also just he has to find a new movie every week to cover.
Right.
Because he's already done all the good ones. And then, like, yeah, James A. Janice is like crazy. I think I first saw one of his videos in 2020.
Yeah.
He was at his peak.
I think I did too.
And then that's how I got into like the psychological stuff.
Mhm.
Not I like psychological horror more than slasher horror. It's probably
Right.
my favorite genre.
Mhm.
That I honestly do like some documentaries. Like the slasher documentaries aren't bad. And
Yeah.
it's like, but it sucks like knowing like I don't know if you say like they're not idolized. Like it's a lot nowadays. Like people are like horror movies cause these people to be serial killers because they're crazy. But like it sort of showed off in Scream. They use that concept for
Yeah,
Scream.
movies don't make psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Yeah, that's what it is. And like Scream really plays it well, and it's cool to know that like, hey, Scream is like pretty much a mashup of all three.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
They're either really fast or like a crash out, or they're really slow and like not a crash out as much.
Yeah.
And it's like Wes Craven, I think, was the director.
That's
of the Scream
right.
movies, but that's also like Wes Craven himself, so he's like.
I mean,
goat.
he was somebody who was very experienced with horror, particularly slashers, because he created Nightmare on Elm Street. And so Scream was sort of his return to the slasher subgenre. And both, I love Scream. It's kind of both a love letter and a satire of slashers. While also being like one of the best slashers out there.
It is one of the best. It might be the best slasher.
Mm-hmm.
Psycho.
Yeah,
Hitchcock knows what he's doing.
of course.
But yeah, back to Jason Lives. I really was bored with this movie at the start,
Yeah.
and then I got into like kind of like the middle of the movie,
Mhm.
where we're kind of like, okay, now Jason's finally picking it up.
Yeah.
After the James Bond intro, like,
Yeah.
You'd think it would go straight into a kill, but like we're finally ramping up, and it wraps up pretty quickly, but towards the middle of the movie there, I'm pretty sure that's when they finally like kind of like lock Tommy up
Yeah.
or give him jail time, and then Megan brings him out. And then,
Yeah. Which the jail scenes, you might have said this, but the jail scenes do kind of start to get repetitive because you got Tommy. Oh, it's Jason. He's back. I don't believe you. Blah, blah, blah.
yeah, bro. Like there's certified proof in the pudding that he didn't kill them.
Yeah.
And bro's like, I still know it was you. It's like, okay, bro,
Yeah.
this isn't like some like psychological killer.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just get through your head. But it's also good because Tommy's the only one we focus on in this movie. Part 5 did it different kind of because it was kind of like Tommy and the girl in part 5.
That's right. That's right.
Part 4 was Tina, or not Tina.
It was Corey Feldman and Corey Feldman's
And
sister.
Rob.
Yeah.
Because they randomly came upon Rob, and that reveals a stupid hole in the timeline. I don't know if you remember that. His sister got killed like 2 weeks prior by Jason.
Yeah.
And then part 3 is like Chris Higgins, and I'm pretty sure there was somebody else with her. I mean, she's obviously the last one left at the end.
Mm-hmm.
2 is Paul and Jenny, I'm pretty sure.
That sounds right.
And then 1 is obviously Alice.
Alice, that's her
Then
name. Yeah.
That is,
Who dies in the beginning of part 2, right?
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And the way they do with like Pamela in the series and how they factor her in is
Yeah.
really good.
It's great.
But I'm also glad because I did see something about like this movie was supposed to go way more in depth about his past life.
Yeah, well,
his father.
they had scripted a scene with his father.
That would suck.
Yeah.
He'd probably be an alcoholic.
Yeah, I do like that they leave more up to...
It would be like a Freddy Krueger scene.
Yeah.
Where like Freddy Krueger and his dad like beats him.
Yeah.
And he like likes it. And then Michael Myers' father and his mom just stand right there.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody knows what happens to them.
I hate the Rob Zombie Halloween movies so much.
Oh, that one's... I'm talking about the Carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
That Rob Zombie, isn't his mom like a stripper?
Probably. Oh.
Pretty sure
I
that's
haven't
what it
seen the second one. I only saw the first.
Michael's a loser. That's all I
Yeah,
gotta say.
right.
Out of all 3, Michael was the biggest loser as a kid. He probably got picked on in prison.
Yeah,
Killed his sister. Like, dude.
right.
And he low-key did it like Jason. I don't know if Friday was made... I think it was like Friday was made in response to
No, it was made to capitalize off like the slasher
newfound...
Yeah, because
slasher.
people saw Halloween and
Like, oh, this is
normal people were like, whoa, that movie was so good. I hope we can get more good movies like this. And studio heads were like, whoa, that movie was so cheap and it made so much money. So we can make cheap movies that also make a lot of money. And for the most part, that worked for Friday the 13th. It made unholy amounts of money at the box office until Jason Lives, which was the first time a Friday movie didn't open at number 1 in its opening weekend.
Who beat it?
Aliens.
That's a good movie,
It's
though.
fair. Like, you can't...
That's a fair movie. And
Yeah.
in my opinion, Nightmare on Elm Street came out way too late, but it also was really good. The
It's so
first one
good.
is really good. The second one's not as good.
Uh-huh.
It's like he's just gay. The third one is...
Third one's fun.
A lot of people hate it, and I'm like, it's not bad. They're losers.
It's silly.
They're
It's
United
silly.
losers. And then
Dream Warriors.
the fourth one is like the Dream Catcher. Pretty
Something
sure.
like that.
The fifth one's terrible. Like...
Sorry.
I'm about to say, but it shows in every horror franchise that they just cannot keep it competitive or
Yeah.
competitive. Alien did it decent,
Yeah, well, Alien isn't slasher horror.
yeah,
And also, I feel like the transition between Alien and Aliens was it went from straight up sci-fi horror to more like action.
Mhm.
As much as I love both of those movies. But, I mean, the first one is almost a slasher. Just like,
yeah.
well, it's sort of slasher, monster horror, whatever.
I mean, the same thing as with Predator.
Yeah.
Like it's literally just like Predator. Yeah, like honestly, out of all 3, Jason is my favorite killer
Mm-hmm.
because he's a crash out, and it's like
Of course.
it's a funny to watch a crash
Love
out.
a good crash out.
Like he's a killer. You're like, oh yeah, he's about to crash out. Freddy, you're just like, bro, what is he about to say? And,
Yeah.
and then
Because he's going to say some out-of-pocket shit.
yeah, some stupid shit, and then Michael Myers is just like, where is he?
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's
And then
probably the creepiest of the three.
Michael Myers is, in my opinion, Michael Myers might be the scariest of the three. Because Jason, they definitely took it from Michael when he's chasing Roy in the woods.
Yeah.
They definitely take it from Michael. And, like, they've made Michael in the past, or whatever it is now, the 3 they did now, that sucked. But Michael was scary as hell in those movies.
Right.
Well, except for the last one.
Yeah.
But, like, you can't hide from Michael. He's like a warden.
Mm-hmm.
If he hears you, he hears you. If he can still find you.
Yeah. I mean, he's the blueprint, you know? You gotta appreciate that.
He is the blueprint for a killer. And then another killer that doesn't get talked about enough is Leatherface.
I was gonna say, I'm a big fan of him. I do need to watch more of the Texas Chainsaws.
Have you played the game?
I played a little bit of it,
The game was good at the start, and now it's dead. But
yeah.
It's the big dogs are easily Freddy, Jason, and Michael.
For sure.
And then
You got Leatherface, like an honorable mention.
another
Ghostface.
Yeah, Ghostface is another honorable mention. And honestly, down the line, not a lot of people know Pinhead, so that's kind of good for Hellraiser.
Is he like slasher? Would you say?
Some pretty brutal shit. That's what it is. Same as Scream's not brutal. It's just,
It can be.
It can be. Like Billy was pretty weird. Stu got a TV dropped on his head.
Yeah.
But like, when it comes to the horror genre, it's like everybody knows the big dogs, but they just haven't seen the movies, and so you don't know if it's like something like you would be interested in. Like I had to watch the movies to more so understand. I didn't have to go watch the kill count like half the people do now.
Yeah.
I genuinely watched Texas Chainsaw because it didn't have any It didn't have any nudity. It didn't have anything like that.
No, that one's just a good,
straight up
scary movie.
Weird, scary, based off of a true story.
Loosely,
whatever. Hitchhiker makes you creeped as hell.
Yeah.
And that just gives the whole feel for the movie. It's a psycho family, too. And then, like, Friday, I just understood it from the start.
Of course. I mean, there's not much to understand. It's very bare bones, very simple. And, like, there's beauty in that simplicity.
Michael's just straight hell.
Yeah.
Freddy, you had to wait a while. Wasn't it introduced in, like, New Nightmare?
What about him?
Like, when they finally realized he killed the kids? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Or the scenes finally got, like, made. Where they, like, finally showed Robert Englund, like...
killing kids. Well, they talk about it in, like, the first movie.
They talk about it.
Because, like, that's why he died in the first place.
He kills the kids of the parents that...
I mean, that's the plot of the movie.
Yeah, it's like, the parents that killed Freddy...
Yeah.
Now he's the Dream Demon. And then he goes and kills the kids that they're kids now? Or then, 84, whatever. I'm pretty sure he targets more so the kids of the parents
that killed him, yes. Yeah, I believe so.
But also, I thought the parents, they honestly probably would have another kid after their one kid gets killed.
Yeah.
You probably can't live with that.
Yeah.
You probably just go out. And then, like, Freddy, you kind of have to, it's a weird way to understand. Friday just keeps it plain and simple compared to the other ones. It's a really simple, plain plot.
Yeah.
Really stupid at times, but it's, they make it
really
good.
And, like, Jason Lives is where they become, like, very self-aware of their stupidity, and they embrace it openly. And like I said, that's what they should have done, like, in all the sequels going forward from there. It's sort of like, I don't know if you're a big James Bond guy, but, I mean, like, you have the James Bond intro with the eye, but this is sort of like the Roger Moore films, in that they all have all these winks to the camera and whatnot, and this very campy feel. And I feel like they're gonna return to the franchise one day, and if they do, I hope they go for that campy feel again. The next thing they're working on is a prequel series called Crystal Lake, and I don't know how that's gonna work.
Doesn't Pamela kill? So, Friday the 13th, here's what the thing is. How are they going to factor this in? After Jason gets killed, is it 54?
I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure it's in the 50s where he gets killed. We know that.
Yeah.
Because he comes back and he's really old.
Mm-hmm.
Or he doesn't come back. It just reveals that he was living all that time.
Mm-hmm.
Pamela was the first counselors killed in that flashback?
I believe so.
Those are the first counselors killed, and then they reopen the camp.
And then his camp.
She kills the kids, they close the camp,
Then
they try to reopen
then,
the camp, and then
a
she goes
decade
and
or
kills the
so
kids.
later, they
That's
reopen
what
it.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, they would have to be before Pamela. I don't really understand.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be, but whatever. Like,
Jason's...
they'll make more movies at some point or another. I don't see how they can't, they don't do that. And hopefully they're good. And if they're not good, hopefully they're fun.
Or just gory.
Or gory. Like,
That'll get you money.
yeah, like these days they can get away with so much more than they could back then. Because the MPAA doesn't have a hate boner for them anymore. And even if they do, then they can just release it straight to streaming and nobody will care. I mean, we've yapped for a good long time. I don't know if you have a whole lot more you wanted to say about Jason Lives or Friday in general.
I think we need to run this back.
You think so?
I don't know on what episode, like what we should talk about. I'm a definitely your horror guy though.
Absolutely.
I mean, I knew this was not gonna branch. I knew this was gonna branch from Jason Lives, and that's what I'm thinking I have to say. I knew this was gonna branch from Jason Lives into just the horror drama in general,
Yeah.
because it's just so like you can't talk about one horror character and not mention the rest of the genre because
Right.
the amount of inspiration they use
Mm-hmm.
for each killer. The hockey mask is something exclusive to Jason,
Mm-hmm.
and they finally found out, like, okay,
I think Jason Lives is sort of where they figure, well, no, the final chapter sort of, he like sort of more comes into his own, Jason does.
yes, the axe to the head. And,
He very much has like, he gets his personality, he gets sort of what makes Jason Jason, you know? And, I mean, what is it that makes Jason Jason? It's the mask, the machete to a degree. The build.
The build is
He's a hunky guy.
he is always hunky. He looks like he's got a military body or like a marine.
Yeah,
body.
and he's angry. He's got to be angry.
He's angry, and he ends you in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Michael, where he can just stab you with
Yeah.
a chef's knife, he uses so much different stuff. In part 2, he uses a pickaxe. In part 3, he uses an axe.
I feel like he gets the machete in part 3.
Or he uses a machete in part 3, yeah, that's on me. A harpoon gun, too.
Mm-hmm.
Part 4, he uses the machete again?
Maybe.
Because then she takes the machete and uses it on him.
That's right.
Like, slashes his finger.
Mm-hmm.
Part 5, I forget what Roy uses.
I don't even
but that's
know.
not even Jason. 6, he uses...
I remember the shears kill.
He did use a shear. Roy did use shears.
That was for like one.
Yeah,
kill.
because he put the eyes. And
Yeah, that was a
carved it
good
up.
one.
Uses a piece of a fence. Uses his hands.
Machete again.
Machete again. Part 7, he will kill you in so many different ways,
Mm-hmm.
and he's definitely the strongest out of the 3.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, and I don't know how he got so damn strong. It doesn't make sense to me, because he will literally crush your head. And that's what makes it so. That's what makes the Friday movie so entertaining. It's not something like you like scrunch up at. You kind of just want to see the kill.
Yeah,
You don't want
it's
to
just
scrunch
fun.
up.
I think these are very good movies to like watch while hanging out with friends or something.
Michael will just like straight up. You'll be like kind of like bumped up. Freddy is just like you'll just be disgusted.
Like, yeah, and there's like nothing you can like. It's not like you can run. You're in a dream.
You're in a dream. He'll teleport to you. But Jason is like something you kind of want to lean in and like watch him kill the person and see how and like to what measures he does it.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun watching Jason.
Definitely.
All right. All right. I don't normally do this, I know, but I would be remiss if I did not mention Alice Cooper once in this podcast. We got so far off topic. I kind of had to carry the conversation for a while, but once he got going, he really got going. But Alice Cooper, man, I love him so much. And this soundtrack, this is the best soundtrack of any Friday movie. I mean, it's the only one with like a soundtrack aside from Harry Manfredini doing amazing as usual. He's got the Dies Irae motif in the beginning, a horror staple. Yeah, you see it in The Shining, you see it in the Dead by Daylight theme, and you see it here in the opening, and it's great. But aside from that, you have the Alice Cooper soundtrack. He's back, the man behind the mask, banger. You have Teenage Frankenstein, banger. Hard Rock Summer in the USA, banger. I love that the Alice Cooper songs in this movie. I love the use of them. The chase sequence. The chase sequence is like so much more cinematic and well made and funny than like anything else in the Friday the 13th franchise. I don't know how I didn't mention any of this in the actual podcast, but I'm mentioning it now because I would be so sad and disappointed in myself if I didn't mention it. I think the only other time I've done something like this was for the Batman, because we didn't finish. We got cut off, but yeah, I just really had to bring it up. I had to. I would so regret it if I didn't, because I'm not gonna do another episode on Jason Lives. Are you kidding me? Screw you.
And on that note, it's been a pleasure, Stone.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for coming on to this episode of Pulp Diction.
Yes, sir.
Remember to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications on every new episode and other videos that I feel like posting sometimes. What else? Spotify. Follow on Spotify. Rate 5 stars.
Maybe Apple Music. Is Apple Music coming?
Maybe one day if I can log into my old account. I lost the password.
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud? Should I put these on SoundCloud?
Yeah, you could.
I very well could.
You could put on SoundCloud. And what's another one?
I don't know. What other?
You already got YouTube.
What other podcast platforms exist?
Sirius XM.
Sirius XM.
Sirius
Yeah.
XM, and probably a radio station at one point.
Yeah, we'll make
just
Pulp
that.
Diction Radio. How about that?
That'd be a banger radio station.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That'd be a banger radio station.
And thank you very much for watching and or listening. We'll catch you on the flip flop.